So we are in the Toyota GR Yaris, and this is not the review that we normally do, because this car is not practical, it's not family friendly, it doesn't have a big boot, and it's certainly not fuel efficient. This is a car to make you smile. This is the car that Toyota made and said, you know what, we're doing all these sensible hatchbacks, hybrid powertrains and family friendly cars. That's great, but we have to go a little bit crazy. And they gave this car to the GR department and said, you know what, do whatever you want. So the recipe is simple. We have 3 cylinders, 1.6 liters in the front with a huge turbo on it. 4-wheel drive, tuned by the GR department, obviously. We have sticky rubber, big brakes, and all that in a package that doesn't weigh much more than your oven at home. So that is quite the recipe. 285 horsepower and more than 300 Newton meters of torque. So it is an animal. So while we're currently driving on the highway in eco mode, I think it's good to address a few things of this car. First of all, daily practicality, forget about it. You can hear how loud it is in here, even at 100 kilometers an hour cruising speed. You hear everything, tires, exhaust noise, the whole thing. It's not a comfortable car to drive in general because it's, well, pretty roughly sprung, and it's too noisy for long distances. Not the car there. In and around town, it's all possible. You know, you can easily get from A to B. It is a transportation device in the end, but you can feel that the brakes are too sharp, that the gear shift is too intense, that putting it, you know, in and out of gear at a traffic light, it's too much. It's not comfortable. It's all possible, but not in a day-to-day usability case. That said, I've been driving around in this car for about a week now, and several times at the gas station or at the supermarket, people came up to me and be like, yo, is that the GR Yaris? That's cool. And they want to look around and sit in it and everything. So that is so much fun to have sort of this sort of shared passion with other car enthusiasts. A lot of them Toyota drivers, actually, that just drive a normal Toyota, but know what this is. So that's really cool. And I think that's really a big part of the sort of smile experience owning this car. It's not only the performance and the accessibility, the performance and everything that you can do with this car, but it's also the ownership feelings that you get sharing that with other people that know how special this car is. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, when you drive a car where you have to consider if your tires are up to temperature, that it says it all, really. I had a moment yesterday where I was going onto the highway a bit too enthusiastically, in all honesty, but then suddenly you're full opposite lock because the back steps out. Yeah, that is obviously something that you don't want in your day-to-day commute or taking the kids to school, even though technically it is all possible to do. Now we could address the carbon roof and the sticky Michelins and the hardcore brakes and the lack of space in the boot and all, but I think in general the feeling of this car is so much more important. Sitting here, I'm obviously looking at a lot of Toyota equipment. The screen is too small, there's no rear wiper, the fuel consumption is too high, so you know, as a car proposition per se, there's a lot wrong with it. But that smile that you get when you tap into that performance a little bit, I would almost say it's all worth it. It's such a cool vehicle. It's such a capable platform with this 4-wheel drive system, with the powertrain, with the gearbox, and those modes that you can actually feel the difference when you go from normal to gravel mode. Did a little bit of spinning yesterday at a construction site, but when you do get the chance to do those little things, it is just fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So hats off to Toyota, props to Toyota for making this car. Even though that it has nothing to do with the regular Yaris really, except for the shape maybe, but it is such a cool car, and I think together with the Land Cruiser, by far my favorites of the whole Toyota lineup. Perhaps interesting to consider who this car is for. because you know, if you just like the styling, you can just get a normal Yaris with a body kit maybe, but all that hardware underneath is real and capable and amazing. So yeah, you might not want to use this car in your day-to-day school run, but it is a car that you can take out of the showroom, drive straight to a rally special stage, go absolutely bananas, hose it off, and then drive home. So if that's you, or if that's somebody who you want to be, then yeah, this is the car for you. It's a little bit like the Alpine A290 that we drove last year in the summer, which was great on mountain roads in Mallorca, but yeah, in day-to-day life, a bit too hardcore, a bit too impractical. And here in the Netherlands, we don't have amazing mountain roads. We don't have that many race circuits where you'll just be hooning around every weekend. So it does get a bit problematic there. But yeah, like I said, drive it from the showroom to the rally stage and all is well. So yeah, this is not going to be a high-selling car for Toyota, obviously. I do think it is probably more of a collector's item for people that like the brand, like this rally theme, like the hot hatch vibe, and then some. It's for those people. And so if you can afford this and you do want to take it out occasionally to do a rally special, why not? That's what it's for, right? And then you do stuff like this, and it is just all kinds of awesome. We are now at the point of the video that it's time for a serious conversation. Obviously you want to order this one. I want it too. Until you have a look at the price list, especially here in the Netherlands. There's no way around it, and I can't soften the blow. But this car is 100 grand. 100,000 euro for a Yaris. A special one, absolutely, but 100,000 euro. More than 45,000 euros in taxes on this one, here in the Netherlands. Crazy. Especially considering that the regular Yaris starts at 26,000 here in the Netherlands. If you want to soften the blow slightly, there is a manual option available. I got the price list here that will save you between 10 and 15,000 euro. So if you can do without the paddle shift, you can save yourself some money. That's all I got for you in this video. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. A sub to the channel is always appreciated, and not to miss any future videos. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.